So day one of the Normandy trip, and we have landed a while back, and we are just coming to the new British Normandy Memorial. So sorry, Con. Just seen your twin brother going that way. So the beaches and the bridgehead, 6th of June to the 15th of June 1944. It was the greatest amphibious assault in history. It was June 6, 1944, when British forces played a critical role alongside forces from the United States, Canada and other allied nations in the landings which opened the way to the liberation of Western Europe and the restoration of peace and freedom. D-Day, a day which altered the course of our history. Tens of thousands of Allied troops landed on 5 beaches in Normandy and on airborne operations inland to overcome the tyranny which has spread across France and much of Europe from Nazi Germany. D-Day was just the beginning of the campaign known as Operation Overlord. On June 7th and for weeks beyond that, the Allied fleet continued to rush troops to Normandy while warships offshore continued to provide crucial gunfire support. By mid-June, the Allied land forces under the command of Britain's General Sir Bernard Montgomery were firmly ashore, but German forces were fighting back. The outcome of one of the most important battles of the 20th century hung in the balance. So, struggling to advance, 16th of June to the 30th of June 1944, British and Allied forces were fighting in the thick vegetation surrounding the area and high hedgerows of Normandy's bocage terrain. The Germans found this an ideal form of defence. For 4 days, 19 to 22 of June, a major storm hit the English Channel. Rough seas and high winds almost halted the process of unloading troops and supplies. The British artificial Mulberry Harbour off Arromanches survived the storm. The American Mulberry Harbour at Omaha Beach was destroyed. The main objective on the British-Canadian sector was to advance towards the city of Caen. Operation Epsom, 26th to 30th of June, was a major British attack to the west of Caen, but military gains were limited. Poor weather often restricted support from Allied forces. British troops reached but could not hold the high point known as Hill 112. British casualties were heavy. By the end of June there were around 400,000 British troops in Normandy. Battle for Caen, 1st of July to 15th of July 1944. The British attack to the west of Caen had not achieved its full objectives. The Germans made powerful counterattacks against the ground captured in recent fighting but suffered severe losses. British and Canadian troops attacked Caen from the north, supported by 450 heavy bomber aircraft. Operation Charmwood from the 8th to 9th of July. They liberated the northern part of the city, though it was heavily damaged as a result of weeks of Allied attacks. British forces then attacked further to the west, seizing an area including the northern part of the critical observation point of Hill 112. In the fierce fighting over the next days, some locations were captured and recaptured several times. Losses on both sides were very high, particularly amongst the infantry. Overall, the British forces made a gradual advance, but at great cost. Cauldron of battle, 16 July to 29 July 1944. The gruelling struggle continued. Casualty rates mounted, but neither side had a decisive advantage. The next major British offensive was Operation Goodwood from the 18th to 20th of July. The attack at the eastern end of the British-Canadian sector made use of the high number of tanks operated by British forces, supported by nearly 2,000 British and American heavy and medium bombers. Although Operation Goodwood did not lead to as big an advance as some had hoped, the threat from British-Canadian forces in the Caen area meant that many of the strongest German units were held in that region rather than being sent against the Americans. The British and Canadians faced more than 3 times as many German tanks as did their American comrades. This aided the American breakout to the south of St. Lo. That began on the 25th of July, Operation Cobra. The breakout begins 30 July to 15 August. At the end of July, British forces moved to the west of Caen for a major attack, Operation Bluecoat, 30 July to 7 August. The objective was Mont-Picon, the highest point in Normandy. Despite heavy fighting, British forces advanced rapidly. By 6 of August, the summit of Mont-Picon had been captured. Operation Bluecoat and American advances further west left the German forces in Normandy weakened but still capable of fierce resistance. To the south of Caen, 1st Canadian Army launched Operation Totalize, 8-10 August, followed by Operation Tractable, 14-15 August, both in the direction of Falaise. This Canadian-led force also included British and Polish units, supported by heavy bombers from the UK and the tactical air forces in Normandy. Significant advances were made which would contribute towards the encirclement of the majority of the German forces in the region. So, victory in Normandy, 16 August to 31 August 1944. Allied forces were advancing along virtually the entire front. The Americans approached from the south while British, Canadian and Polish forces closed in from the north. As German forces retreated under heavy ground and air attack, the Allies closed what became known as the Falaise Gap, preventing further German escape. American troops reached the River Seine on 19 August. German resistance was fierce, but on the 25th to the 26th of August, the Canadians and then the British crossed the Seine, while Paris was liberated by French and American troops. Fighting continued in many places until the 30th of August. German resistance to the south of the Seine was ended. On the 1st of September, General Dwight D. Eisenhower took direct command of the Allied armies for the next phase of the fighting. The Battle of Normandy was ended, an Allied victory, but at great cost to both sides and to the French people who inhabited what had become a battlefield. Just a quick scan. So as we approach the main area, every single column, names. So in the distance you could see remains of the Mulberry Harbour. Unfortunately we haven't got a great zoom on this this camera, but I'm sure we'll be getting closer to that over the coming week, where we can show you a bit more. So this is the main centre, and we've got the wonderful monument. I got one for sale. You wouldn't want to pay though. No, I wish it was. A truly Truly moving experience.
They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.